It's pretty rare. So there is a turning point, and that's the crux here of what's going on for you as well. There is a big change that is coming for you. It's the central focus to your reading. But because it's in reverse, there's some resistance or delay, or you want it to go faster than it's coming. The wheel means that time just changes things. Time is evolving at its own natural pace. This is the divine hand that turns the wheel of time, and it's sort of like the changing of the seasons. And what we see is that the people who are on the top will be on the bottom, the people who are bottom will be on the top. It's the turning of the tide. Sometimes I call it the tables turning. And when we allow it in the upright position, that's how things happen naturally. And that means just time is taking its course. Things are going as they go. It's fortune and change and luck. When it's in the reverse position, it means that things are still happening. Time is still changing things, but it's not happening in a natural way. There's some resistance, fear, doubt, or pressure for things to go faster. So I usually read wheel in reverse as change is happening or change is afoot, but you're either wanting it to happen faster or slower than it naturally wants to go. So that means you may want a change to happen quickly, or you're afraid of the change. Often in reverse cards, sometimes doubt or fear comes into play. This can also mean wanting a change, but also fearing it. So it's happening. Change is here. It's in the center of your reading, Taurus, but there's some sort of resistance or, again, fear, doubt, unsurety. The fact that you've got 3 aces in the reverse position says there's new beginnings on all levels. New beginnings in love and creativity and passion. New beginnings in lifestyle or money. New beginnings of insight or truth or the way that you view things. So I'm going to go through each of the cards here, and then I'll talk about each week. And I've already kind of talked about this one here. This is the central focus. And I'm going to ask you to reflect on, is there any way that you're resisting this change? Is there any way that you are wanting it to be in delay, that you're fearful of it, or that there's doubt cast on it, that you feel unready for it? Or on the other hand, is there any way in which you're wanting things to speed up or happen faster than they naturally can? Because that can be a wheel in reverse as well. What's in the shadow position? This is your shadow here in the shadow highlight. Shadow is usually what we can't see, what is beneath the surface, what is unknown to us, what is sort of waiting in the wings. This is Nine of Wands, which is the survivor card. So I actually interpret this in the shadow position as you're going to survive through this. You are a survivor. You're just not acknowledging that to yourself because it's in shadow right now. You don't see that even when you get knocked down, you always get back up. I often repeat the phrase and the quote when I see this it's a Buddhist quote that says, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. So even if there's a big wave of change coming, this shows a card of endurance, a card of resilience. You're not seeing that necessarily because it's in the shadow position, but try to embrace that because that is what is waiting for you under the surface. That may be a part of yourself that you're not acknowledging, is that you can kind of handle whatever comes at you. And by the way, you have in the past. You have endured through things. You have survived through things. So that's the card in the shadow position. Acknowledge survivorship, because that's what that card's about. This also can be a card, just because this is the shadow position, I'm going to say there also can be, when this card shows up, a little bit of defensiveness or paranoia. So you may have some defense or paranoia, or this has got sort of the feeling of always looking over your shoulder waiting for the next attack. That could be something that you're not seeing, whether that's from you or from someone else, or that could be like an aura of feelings that are happening, beneath the surface somewhere in your environment. But it's something that you may not be picking up of or consciously aware of. That's what the shadow placement says about that card. What's passing away, now this is interesting. What's passing away is Hangman in reverse. This is actually the reverse position of the card. In the upright position, it's this, because he's hanged, he's hanging from his feet. And in this position, this is a card of doing things your own unique way, not worrying about what anyone thinks, marching to the beat of your own drum, finding comfort in an alternate perspective, like seeing things from a 180 perspective and enjoying your own perspective, having a unique point of view. When this is in the reverse position, it means worrying too much about what others think, worrying too much about what other people think, like keeping up with the Joneses or your social standing, or if I did this, what would everyone else think of me? Or I have to do things according to the normal way because I can't be perceived as an outsider, or all that kind of what I'll call insecurities. That's going to be passing away for you, Taurus. That's dissolving. So that's a nice card to have in the passing away position, because what it means is that any preoccupations that you currently have about worrying too much about what other people think, and not feeling the freedom to do things according to your own unique way of doing things, that's going to be passing away, which is nice. So allow this change. Allow as what I'm seeing too with these in reverse, interesting, these are all in reverse right here, is that as you embrace more of doing things your own unique way, not worrying about what everyone else is saying or thinking about something, as you embrace your own unique path, this turns around and you get comfortable, even though it may be an uncomfortable position, even though other people might say you're doing things upside down, you're doing it wrong. If you acknowledge that and embrace that, guess what else turns around? This one. So it may, as you get more comfortable with yourself and begin to loosen up on anything that you may be worried about with being concerned with what other people think, or being fearful about doing things your own way, even if it's eccentric or unconventional or not the usual way that things are done, as you kind of accept that and let these fears dissolve and settle into your own like, I know I'm repeating myself, but your own unique way of doing things. If you settle into marching to the beat of your own drum and not worrying about it and not putting too much emphasis on what other people think, then this turns around too. So then this goes from, I'm afraid of the change, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it, I'm resisting it, I want it to be in delay, or I want it to speed up. This happens at its own natural pace, kind of as you deal with that. So I'm just going to put these back in their original position. Then what's arriving for you, and this is nice too, is that this is Nine of Swords. Now this means this isn't a future position, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be worrying a lot in the future. It can be a card of worry or overthinking things. That's definitely the low side of this card, because swords always represent thoughts, and Nine of Swords is a depiction of too many thoughts all on one card. It kind of means like making 9 problems when there's only 3. So what this says is that you may have a period coming up where you're kind of over analyzing things, or kind of like looking at all the minutia of things, when maybe there's just 3 things to think about, or 3 important things, 3 priorities, but you may be getting caught up in all the fine details of things, and it's stressing you out and causing you tension and worry and anxiety. But in the reverse position, it says that you may not be seeing a tendency to do that. It's funny because these are both 9 here in the upright position. I mean, in the approaching position and in your shadow position. Those 9s are when you were wrapping something up. So you may not necessarily see how much you've endured and be overthinking, like, this is what I have to do, it's stressing me out. That might be causing part of the concern about whatever change is coming, is that you're overthinking or worrying You're putting your mind in the future is what's happening here. That's literally what this is, the position of the future or what's approaching. And this is a card of the mind or too many thoughts. And you can see these hands get bound up. So I'm going to say, take your mind out of the future. Stop worrying yourself about what's going to happen in the future. I also get the sense that that is why there's any resistance to these new aces. That's why there's resistance to this Wheel of Fortune card, the luck, the change, the evolution, the time going at its own natural pace. So take your mind out of the future. In this position too, in the Rider Waite, there's a picture of a woman or a man figure at the bottom of the card that is fighting a sword fight, but it's just one person. So it's also saying like you're fighting this battle within yourself and within your own mind. So a way out of this is this is too much air energy, which is swords, too many thoughts. So there's three ways out of this. There's either taking action, which is fire energy, and like taking action on one of the things that's concerning you. That'll immediately get rid of some of the swords energy. Or you can ground yourself, which is like taking a walk in nature, anything that has to do with earth energy. So, again, walking in nature, meditating, anything that grounds you. Even something as trifling as like looking at a picture of a mountain, that can be very calming. Or water energy. So water energy is heart energy, which means like talking with somebody else about it, or sharing what's on your heart with someone, or taking time to spend loving energy with a friend or a family member or someone a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend. So that's heart energy, which is water energy. Any of those will help decrease the overabundance of air energy. So I'm going to say, coming up in the future, Taurus, get out of your own mind, because that is what is holding down this ace energy. You're kind of worried about it, and you're kind of driving yourself in circles about it. Because what's highlighted is that there could be a new job there for you, Taurus. This is new money. This is the universe wanting to hand you something. And you can see it depicted right in the card. It's basically like the universe is handing you this gold coin. So that can be like a new asset, a new source of income, a new lifestyle. It can be a new anything that's coming into your existence that benefits your physical being. So it could even just be new health, new earth energy, assets, health. Usually it's things that are valuable. So I sometimes see this as new job or job offer, new place of living, could be a new boyfriend or girlfriend or new love interest. Usually that's more Ace of Cups energy because that's more emotional, but anything that comes into your existence that is a new thing coming in that benefits your lifestyle, it's sort of like sowing the seeds to this new garden. It could even just be like beginning a new business, beginning a new work endeavor that will bring you money later. This is like the seed that you sow that eventually turns into a million coins. I sort of see this as planting a tree that has coins on it. When you plant this seed that the universe gives you, then it grows into a tree in this garden that produces coins. So try not to resist that, Taurus. That's a good thing. That's the universe wanting to shower you with riches. The only fear that you have, the block, it's highlighted here because this wants to come in. It's sort of like a seed that wants to sprout up through the earth, but it can't until you let go of whatever fears, until you address this, and this. And know that you have this going on for you in the background, in the shadows, like under the surface. You're a survivor. So don't worry about what other people are going to think of you. Don't worry about needless things. Allow the change to happen, and this is coming for you. This will come in once you remove the fear, the resistance, or the doubt that's going on. I always use cards in reverse or resistance, fear, doubt, any of that, anything that is not happening naturally as it wants to. I use the image of the cork on the water being held down. Its natural state is that it wants to be on the water's surface. But something, whether it's fear, doubt, resistance, delay, any of those things can keep its natural expression of rising to the surface underwater. And once you let go, once you remove that resistance, remove that fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, is what I'll say here, then this just flips and it comes up to the surface and it's there for you to take. You may also even want to envision yourself in a receiving position. There might be some of you who think, I don't know if I deserve this, or I don't know if I can receive this. Like, is this really mine? Am I really getting this? Is it too good to be true? That can sometimes happen with Ace of Coins in reverse. This is a good thing that the universe is bestowing to you. In reverse, there's some question that is making you not receive it or not allow it in. So ask yourself, what's that about? I see that the first and third weeks can also be like really new times for you. That's especially highlighted in all of March, but the first and third weeks are going to be times where new energy can come in. Ace of Swords is a card. This is for the first week of March for you, Taurus. So Ace of Swords is a card of the truth. I call this the Excalibur card. It is a new thought, new beginning. Swords represent ideas, thoughts, beliefs. So sometimes I'll call this card revelation because it's a new thought, it's a new idea, it's a new belief that comes in, and it totally clarifies things. It's a card of victory. It's a card of being in alignment with the truth. So when I see it in the reverse, the question I ask is, what is it that you're not accepting to be true? Or are you holding on to a false belief? Is the truth right in front of you and you're not able to see it? I'm also still getting, could this be too good to be true? Or there's a new idea that wants to come in and I'm just not sure if I can accept that. You know, this is like saying, I don't necessarily want to be in alignment with the truth. I don't necessarily want a new way of thinking of things. I don't want a new beginning. I don't want a new, this usually means a new day, a new perspective. And maybe at the beginning of March, you're saying, I don't want that. I'm fearful of that. I'm resistant to it. I don't accept. Either that, or it could be like you want this, you want the truth, but you can't get it. Or you want things to go, you want to have a new perspective faster than it's coming. So those are all possibilities with Ace of Swords in reverse. But with these three aces, definitely there's like a big new chapter happening for you in March, Taurus, if you allow it. Some of this is saying you may have a hard time letting it in, but it's knocking on your door really hard with all three of these. The second week of March, you have some nice money energy. This is 9 of Coins, and this is the woman who works really hard and saves up her money. This is a card of self-discipline. It's a card of refinement. It's a card of elegance. I usually call this the card of luxury. You can see she's wearing purple robes, and she's wearing a necklace here of coins and jewelry, and has a falcon on her arm, which symbolizes royalty. She's eating grapes. It's basically the good life, and it means, reaping the benefits from the hard work that you've done. And usually it's work that you've done yourself. So this can mean, enjoying the savings account that you've put aside for yourself, or enjoying income from a business that you've built for yourself, or enjoying anything that you have done for yourself and put yourself in a nice position. So sometimes I'll use the word sitting pretty for this card. So the second week of March, I'm thinking May because you Tauruses are May babies, most of you. Some of you are end of April, but the second week of March may be a nice time where you're sitting pretty. That's what I'm getting. Or take time to enjoy some of your hard work or what you've brought to yourself, Taurus. And then third week of March, Ace of Cups in reverse. Now, Ace of Cups in the upright position is new passion, new creativity. My heart runneth over. My cup runneth over. My heart is filled. I'm overjoyed. This is the dove of peace. that lands when our heart is full. And you can see it comes at a time where this lotus is blooming, and that means enlightenment too. That means going through struggle and coming to the surface, and when all things become clear. So cups represent emotional energy, they represent the heart, and this is like your heart being filled. This is the beginning of something you love and adore and have passion for and just feel totally immersed in so much that this is a card where like tears of joy, when we're so filled with joy that tears spill over, that's what this card's about. So I'd like to invite you to welcome that in, Taurus, third week of March. Again, ace energy, you're going to love it, and it's a new beginning, but you really have to allow that in or remove whatever this fear, resistance, doubt, pressure, I'll say over worry to this change. These are the main cards that I'm really seeing here. The aces, the change, and the worry. So really try to break out that. And also, being overly concerned about what other people think, that kind of is a T-square with all these. So if you let go of your stories, of you believing, that you have to do things in a certain way to be accepted, or I'm going to say let go of your need for approval from whoever you're worried about getting their approval. Let go of that. It's passing away anyway, Taurus. So that's really going to open you up for this new ace energy to come in. It's beautiful. It's a blessing. For the last week of March, we have Six of Coins in reverse. Now this means resources. As you can see, the guy's holding coins, he's distributing them out. What's interesting is that he kind of represents both Six of Coins and Nine of Coins represent having resources. Now with him in the reverse position, the first thing that I'm getting for the end of March is that money might be tight at the end of March. And it's interesting with this row here, we've got Nine of Coins within the second week of March. So I'll say even the first half of March. And then Six of Coins towards the second half of March. So be careful. That's part of what maybe some of this worry is about. Be careful with your money during March. Don't overspend, because you could go from Nine of Coins having more than enough to not having enough. These cards depict the beggars here. You can be actually either person when this card shows up. You could be the guy with more than enough who benefits everyone else and he's handing out money. Sometimes I think of this as the employer and these are the employees. Or this is a card of resources and balance, so budgeting. So I'm going to say for you, Taurus, for March, be conscious of your budget, because that seems to me to be some of the area where this mental stress or anxiety is coming from. If you can set a budget in the beginning half of March, it's really going to help you end up